All right, one thing me want to say, me don't know how Caribbean people who move up to Canada, me don't know how them ever really get used to it. You know, me is a Northern Ontario gal.
Like it or not, the Jamaican culture is the most vibrant culture here in Canada. Like it or not, the Jamaican culture is the most vibrant culture here in Canada.
When I walk into a boardroom with millionaires, they notice everything. The hair, the outfit, the bag, and in those first 3 seconds, they decide if I'm someone they should take seriously.
Hey, Jesus Christ, move, run, hey, hey, Jesus Christ, yo, mama, the man dropped the rocking, yo, monster, yo, you see that, Chana? Yo, man dropping it, look at what's take him away, Jesus Christ, hey, Roxanne, can't run, man.
Guys, let me ask you something. How does a country with less than 3 million people manage to leave a mark almost everywhere? Seriously. You can travel thousands of miles from Jamaica, land in a completely different country, and somehow find Jamaicans thriving there. Not just surviving, thriving. They are working as nurses, engineers, business owners, teachers, managers, they are entrepreneurs. And sometimes I sit back and wonder, how does Jamaica keep producing people who succeed all over the world? Because when you really think about it, it's kind of incredible. And today we are going to talk about some of the countries where Jamaicans are quietly making a huge impact. So thank you very much for always watching our videos every time we make a new upload. If you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe and watch how Jamaicans are really doing well, and then I'll be back with more commentary. Full credit to the original creators of these videos. Thank you.
Like it or not, the Jamaican culture is the most vibrant culture here in Canada. Like it or not, the Jamaican culture is the most vibrant culture here in Canada. The Jamaican culture is what lights up Canada, especially in the summertime. The Jamaican culture brings life to Canada, especially into the summertime. In Ontario, in the GTA, the Toronto, the Mississauga, the Brampton, the Pickering, the Scarborough, all of those areas. The Jamaican culture brings a different experience. The food. Zane, trust me, without the Jamaican culture, Canada would just be this big boring country. We not even touch in Montreal in the summer. How the Jamaican experience light up Montreal, Alberta, in Edmonton, Calgary, these major cities. The Jamaican culture is what light up these.
All right, one thing me want to say, me don't know how Caribbean people who move up to Canada, I don't know how them ever really get used to it. You know, me is a Northern Ontario gal. Me grow up in Northern Canada. Lots of sunshine and snow and cold. And me love winter sports, ski, skate, toboggan, all them something there. But now that me live at Jamaica for the last 6 years, 6 winters, me never been around for 6 winters. Me just love Jamaica so much. Me love that beautiful tropical heat and sunshine and all the fresh vegetables and fruits, and every tree have something, you know, and it's like, wow. Me grow up all my life without that, so me never know what me I miss. But now that me know something different, me really, really miss it. So big up yourself, all Caribbean people who live in Canada, and you adapt and you change and you not go back. It's all right. But me going back, me not spend no winter in Canada. All right. Bless.
To me as a 27-year-old Jamaican girl who is the brand owner for the biggest authentic Jamaican seasoning brand in Canada. Now, if you want to support me, hit the follow button and check out our story on our page. It's Monday and it's a production day for us, which means I have to go to the facility to make our products. I made lunch and breakfast and headed to the kitchen. We arrived at the facility around 9 a.m. and I have my brother with me today as we have to produce our largest order we've ever received. We have partnered with a major local business and they ordered 1,250 units of our all-purpose seasoning for their company's holiday gifts to their employees. I feel so blessed and privileged that my brand has been considered for this opportunity, and I'm so happy to be making an impact within my community. If you have a company and you want to gift your employees for the holidays, please feel free to reach out to me at my website at cityeatca.com. I worked so hard today that I didn't even take my lunch until around 4 p.m. and I had to finish working around 4:30. Overall, it was a successful day, and with my brother helping today, we got so much work done. But can you guess how many products we made out of our goal? I'm so blessed to be able to hire my family to help me, and I want you to know when you support me, you are not only supporting me, but you are supporting my family and many others. Thank you.
Oh, trouble them. Me no know how them vex. Buy a one shoes, them get upset. Buy a box food, I eat and belch. Them vex. Oh, trouble them. We are farm workers. Aye, farm workers. Here's how we work. See the factory here? Let me let you know in. And it's not Jamaicans alone work here. We have Mexicans work here, Guatemalans, even Canadians. Big up on yourself. Enough love all the way. See it there? We're gone in now. Yes. One nation. You know, so we late.
If I can't make it in America, I'm going to Dubai to run taxi. I'm going. Marhaban, come. Salam, this is the taxi. Come. Where from you? You're from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum. Come. This is the taxi. Come. Where from you? You're from Iraq. Haid Mubarak. Come into the taxi. You say Baba Mali, Jamaica. Come. Where from you? You're from Trinidad. You have the rum. Come. Salamu alaikum. You're Rahim and Shimin one. Don't come. Don't come if Rahim and Shimin one. Don't come. I'll pull the pin if you come. Salamu alaikum. This is the taxi. Come. My name is Wahid. Salam. Welcome to Dubai. Haram. Salam. Where from you? No, don't come. Don't come here. Don't come here. If you come, pull the pin. Where from you? Hey. I run taxi but wake up. Where are you going? Where are you going from you? You're from here in a taxi. Come. You're coming in America. Where are you from? مرحبا كيف حالك؟ أنا بخير من أنت؟ تهب قليلا. هاي مبارك. منا سيدون America on sofa.
When I walk into a boardroom with millionaires, they notice everything. The hair, the outfit, the bag, and in those first 3 seconds, they decide if I'm someone they should take seriously. I don't get a second chance to make a first impression, so I make sure the first one counts. Here's what women need to understand. Your appearance is not about being pretty. It's about being taken seriously. A polished woman gets treated differently than a sloppy one. That's not fair, but it's real. So if you're showing up to opportunities looking like you don't care, don't be surprised when they don't care about you. Invest in yourself, your hair, your skin, your wardrobe, your presence, because the woman who looks like she belongs in the room is the woman who gets invited back.
Good afternoon again, guys. I'm doing 2 videos for today. If y'all have any questions, you can reach in my DMs, and if you give me permission, I will reach out to, general questions that somebody else could probably help with, but you want to remain anonymous, right? This person asked me about Cayman Islands. I did not work in the Cayman Islands. I worked in the Turks and Caicos Islands. But if I'm reaching out, so if there's anybody who's a nurse in the Cayman Islands now, or a nurse in the Cayman Islands before, and you wish to share your experiences, you can share it under this video. I can share my experience about Turks and Caicos Island. What I will say is that it's a beautiful island. You can't compare Turks and Caicos though with Jamaica. Islanders, I think Cayman also calls themselves islanders, are very much more territorial than Jamaicans are. I feel like Jamaicans are a little bit more open to people coming into the country and working. I know for me, Turks Islanders, they have to warm up to you to make your experience a good one. You have to be pleasant, you have to be very flexible, and you have to understand that you're not really that important in their country, and some of them will let you know, and because everybody knows everybody who knows everybody, things that you may say or do may get back to the wrong people, and you could lose your job. Also, I don't know how it works in the Cayman Islands. I know I was on a contract. Yes, I was still offered certain privileges as staff, but it's a contract that could be canceled. So you got to take that into consideration. When it's canceled, you got to go back home. But if there's anybody who's had experience in the Cayman Islands, not only in nursing, you can do any profession. This video is for you to just let my follower know what it's like over there in Cayman. Bye, guys.
Hi everyone, I am Nurse Betty. I am from Portmore in Jamaica, and I am currently a diabetes specialist nurse in London, UK. Inspiration for becoming a nurse actually came from my family. My dad, he had type 2 diabetes, and even before I even started nursing school, I was helping him with his medications and all of that. I just decided maybe I could do this professionally, so I eventually went to the University of Technology, Jamaica, and I did my studies as a Bachelor of Science as a nurse. I made a lot of sacrifices. I basically had to pack my life in a suitcase, leave my family, my friends, all my loved ones behind, and I came here so that I could better myself. It has all paid off, mostly because I'm able to specialize in diabetes, which this opportunity wasn't available in Jamaica, but I would probably do it again if given the chance. Supporting my family back home, it was actually quite easy because growing up and in nursing school, I've always been supported by my family. So the moment I started working, I started putting things in place so that I could in turn provide my support back to my family in Jamaica. The most rewarding thing about being a nurse is just being able to meet different people. Strange to say. In London especially, I can meet patients from different areas of the world and be able to provide specific care in diabetes to their needs. It's a reward that I can't get anywhere else. So it's very self-fulfilling, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. One thing that really keeps pushing me, and one of the reasons why I haven't packed up my bags and go home as yet, is the fact that I'm able to get all of this knowledge here in the UK on diabetes, things that I know is not available at home. So I try to use my platform, my channel, to share the knowledge in diabetes that I have with people back home. Diabetes is a very common illness, and sad to say we don't have as much individuals in that specialty to provide that care in Jamaica. So I'm just taking what I can, sharing what I can back home so that everyone can benefit.
Jamaicans in Canada, I want to talk to you because even before I moved here in 2017, I've always heard avoid Jamaicans are foreign, them no good, them cannot come together. And yes, I've moved here, I've lived here, and I have seen how this can definitely be the narrative that is out there. And while it is not true in every case, it is definitely true in more cases than I would like, and that is why it is a problem. I have seen persons from other backgrounds come to this country and they are able to come together and really become a force in business, in real estate, in so many different areas. And we as Jamaicans, we're brilliant. We're some of the most creative people. We're not able to show up with that level of dominance, able to take up this much space where it makes a difference. I think we're doing something wrong. But the problem is, I don't know how to fix it. So that is why I'm here. I'm asking you, how do we fix this problem where we're having, where people are not coming together? There should not be a case where you're working at a place, you know that they're hiring, and you're scared to tell your brother and sister. And I don't mean related by blood, but you know what I mean. And yes, sometimes if you can tell people about the work and they can come give problems and all of that, not everybody is that malicious. We can't let things like that stop us from helping people, because that's one of the problems that's holding us back. Another thing, if you are aware of different immigration programs and you went through the process, you should be able to help somebody else. I remember helping someone to come overseas, and I said to him, I said, I'm going to help you to come here, but it's going to be your responsibility to help your brother or your sister, because that is the way that we are going to win. We cannot leave everything on one person to help the entire generation. The only way that we can move forward in a way that matters is if we are able to come together, because together we are stronger. But as I said, I don't have all the answers. So I am here and I'm asking you, what is it that we need to do? Is it that we need to have some annual coming together meeting or something? I don't know, but I would really love to see us show up in a way that matters, not just individually, because I know a lot of us are winning in our individual lives, but I don't want that to be the case. I want people from other races to look at us and say, look at the Jamaicans, look how them come together, look how them do this and look how them do that. Plus, I want Jamaicans themselves to look at each other and see that we have made a real difference. So let me know in the comment section down below, what is it that we need to do to make sure that 10 years down the line, other persons who would have come into the country are not hearing the same thing that I've been hearing even before I came to this country. I look forward to reading the comments, and I look forward to us taking action in a meaningful way. I'm not saying I'm going to be the captain for the ship, but I definitely want to be a part of the change, because maybe right now by not doing anything, I'm a part of the problem, and I don't want to be a part of the problem. I definitely want to be a part of the solution. And if that's something that you're interested in, let me know how we can really fix the problems that we're having right now, so we can show up as better versions of ourselves and as better versions of a whole race.
So guys, I'm in the beautiful island of the Cayman Islands, and you know I'm here always looking at agriculture, and I want to talk about this nice little backyard farming that I see here. Everybody push for food security, and Cayman have their own little style. So in this backyard, you'll see they have shade house growing peppers and kales. You see some lay operation going on here. But the one that brought me here and the attention that I want to showcase to you guys is this lovely goat house I see behind me. Very outstanding built, and I really want to show you guys what they're doing here in Cayman regarding, livestock production. So the focus today, guys, will be on this goat house and the whole operation behind of it, because I think every little island have their little unique flavor and style.
Now, of course, whenever people talk about Jamaica, they usually focus on tourism, the beaches, the music, the food, the culture. And don't get me wrong, those things are important. But there's another Jamaican export that doesn't get nearly enough attention. Jamaicans themselves. Because for decades, Jamaicans have been moving across the world and building lives in places many people never expected. And in some countries, their impact is impossible to ignore. Let's start with Canada. Canada has become one of the most popular destinations for Jamaicans over the years. And it's easy to understand why. Strong economy, good education system, opportunities for skilled workers, healthcare, stability. Many Jamaicans arrived with very little, but over time they built businesses, they bought homes, they raised families, and created entire communities. Today, Jamaican influence can be felt throughout cities like Toronto. In fact, some people joke that parts of Toronto feel like an extension of the Caribbean. And honestly, there is some truth to that. The food, the music, the culture, the influence is everywhere. Then of course there is the United Kingdom. Now this story goes back generations. The Windrush generation helped rebuild Britain after World War II. Many Jamaicans crossed the Atlantic searching for opportunity, and it wasn't easy. Far from it. They faced discrimination. They faced challenges. They actually faced obstacles. But they persevered. And today their descendants are making contributions across every sector imaginable. Politics, business, media, sports, education, healthcare. The Jamaican footprint in Britain is enormous, but here's where things get really interesting. Let's talk about the Cayman Islands. A lot of people don't realize just how much Jamaican influence exists there. For years, Jamaicans have played a major role in the Cayman workforce. Construction, hospitality, healthcare, education, public services, you name it. And because of the close relationships between the two countries, many Jamaicans have built successful careers there. The Cayman Islands may be small, but for many Jamaicans, it's become a place of opportunity. Now, let's talk about somewhere people don't usually associate with Jamaicans. The United Arab Emirates, places like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, the Middle East. Believe it or not, more Jamaicans are beginning to build careers there. And not just in one industry. We are talking about aviation, hospitality, business, finance, technology, professional services. Just think about that. A Jamaican from a small Caribbean island working in one of the most ambitious regions on earth. It's actually very impressive. The more I think about it, the more I believe this is not an accident. There's something about Jamaicans that helps them adapt. Jamaicans are used to figuring things out. They are used to being resourceful. They are used to making things work. And those traits become incredibly valuable when you move to a new country. Of course, there's also confidence. Now, before anybody laughs, let's be honest. Jamaicans are confident people. Sometimes very confident. But confidence matters. It matters in interviews. It matters in business. It matters when you are trying to build a life somewhere new. And I genuinely believe that's one reason Jamaica often stands out. Then of course there is culture, and this is something many Jamaicans underestimate. Jamaica's global reputation opens doors. People know Jamaica. They know reggae, they know dancehall, they know Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, Jack Chicken, the flag, the vibe. Very few countries Jamaica's size have that level of global recognition, and that visibility helps. But of course, let's be clear. None of this means success comes easy. Many Jamaicans abroad sacrifice a lot. Long hours, multiple jobs, time away from family, missing important meetings back home. Success often comes at a cost. And I think that's something we should always acknowledge. Because behind every successful story is usually a lot of hard work. So maybe the real story isn't Jamaicans are quietly winning abroad. I think the real story is that they've been doing it for generations, from Canada to the UK to Cayman to Dubai and countless other places around the world. Jamaicans continue proving that a small island can produce people capable of competing anywhere. But of course, what do you think? Which country do you think Jamaicans are making the biggest impact in right now? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And guys, thank you for watching. Enable notifications too after subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. One love.